right.
And I'm not sure if there's anybody joining us over here yet, but hey, okay, I think we're ready to go.
Yay, we're ready to go. Day 12. Sure. Good evening. Welcome to day 12 of Crazy Cabin Fever cocktails with Distilled Living. And tonight's cocktails are basically Hillary's design again. She wanted to do something involving the apple cider vinegar here that we have. And normally, if you were introducing this in a beverage, in a cocktail, you would do it as a shrub, which is basically making it into a syrup in advance, heightening and concentrating all the flavors. We didn't do that. We're going to just throw it right in, which means we're going to bring down volumes quite a bit, because this is all going to be very potent, strong flavors. To balance out the apple cider vinegar here, we're going to have some blackberry. These are preserves. When I run out of this, I'm going to switch over to, this is a spread. I don't know the differences between these things, but they're tasty and they're the same. Close enough. So
they're both blackberry.
They're both blackberry. So I'm starting with these ingredients. And my spirit that I'm going to introduce for the first one is going to be Bluegrass Distillers Blue Dog Whiskey, some from batch 02. This is 100 proof, and it does have like a crazy strong corn smell on it. I think the corn and the apple is actually a really good pairing together, so that's what we're going to do. But it is so strong on the corn flavor because it is an unaged whiskey that I'm going to pare back the total volume to just 1 ounce. So I've got my cocktail shaker started here. It's got some ice in there. I'm going to start with my apple cider vinegar, because if I screw this up, this volume, I'm screwing up everything. I'm just going to use 1/4 of an ounce. It is not a lot. This stuff is really flavorful. Now my sweet is going to be the blackberry preserves. I'm shooting for about 1 ounce, so it's going to be like a pretty hefty spoonful, which is basically finish off that jar. I'm actually going to do a little bit more. Alright. So I'm going to get that there. That works. And then my ounce of the white dog, or in this case, blue dog. Okay.
Also known as
new make, new spirit. It's not moonshine, don't call it that.
but a lot of people might call it moonshine.
They might call it
that's
moonshine.
not technically correct.
Yeah. Alright, and then I'm going to shake the hell out of this because I'm trying to integrate the preserves, which are very, very thick, over ice, which is going to actually slow down the integration. This is why, for shrubs, you build it all in advance. Should be, oh yeah, look at how much frosting has occurred on that. This is like way past its chill point, which is where I want it to be. Alright.
Do we turn this into a slushy by accident?
It's could be a slushy actually. This is not going to produce a whole lot of volume as a cocktail. This is going to be a very small cocktail. So put a lot of ice in the glass. Look at that color though. And I'm letting most of the solids pass through. Now this is going to be intense and thick, so I'm going to top it with, hopefully top it with a little bit of seltzer that we prepared in the seltzer bottle yesterday.
You can use sparkling water.
Yeah.
Any kind of water, sparkling water. And he says he's testing this for a reason because we've had this thing explode before.
Yeah, these things will super pressurize, and frankly, actually I'm not going to use that one because that one's got blueberry in it, or blackberry, excuse me. I'm going to squirt it in here. I don't like to, oh look at that, got a real good stream. I don't like to shoot the first into a glass because I have, not me personally, but I was present when a glass shattered from the force of the water coming out of there.
And I actually have that on video.
Yeah. So I'm going to top that up. There we go, just like that. And now it looks really beautiful. And even to enhance the effect, we're going to do a little spread of apple. So the other reason that I have a lot of ice in there is to hold that in place. Doesn't it look beautiful?
I think both of our preserves are seedless, correct?
Yes, they are.
So that might matter if you're doing this at home.
That is wonderful. A little bit of acid, a little bit of funkiness. I was going to grab my fine mesh strainer, but it's over there to show you guys.
Sorry, it's not clean either.
But if you were doing a cocktail in a professional environment that you need to strain the seeds out of, you'd pass it through a fine mesh strainer, just like that. All right, what do you think about that cocktail?
It's really good.
It's really good. I do really like the way the corn flavor plays well with everything else involved in that. Okay, so that was cocktail number one. Fresh ice. And you notice that I always put everything in the smaller side. It's because if you do the larger side and you overfill it, then when you try to move the liquid, when you're shaking it, moving the liquid to the smaller side, you can actually overflow the smaller side and it goes everywhere. You gotta be real careful when you open it up. So I always put everything into the smaller side to make sure I don't screw that up. Starting this the same way, I'm gonna do my 1/4 ounce of apple cider vinegar. And really don't want any more than that. It's going to give it a lot of pep and zing. Any more than that, and the acid is just going to take over and just destroy everything. Alright, preserves. Number 2. Big honking spoonful. Like that. And for this one, I'm going to use Larceny Barrel Proof. I know, I'm putting barrel proof into a cocktail. That's okay. Now, this is obviously barrel proof. So this is 100 and whatever. 123.2 proof. I'm going to leave the measurements the same as the last one because that is a lot of alcohol. Alright, let me just one thing at a time. Let's get ahead of myself. But this isn't going to have nearly the intense corn flavor because this has been barrel matured for however many years. So
Is it a 12 year?
I don't even remember.
We were using what's in the house.
Yeah, we had this in the house. This is what we're using. I'm sure it's in the press release, like the age and whatever else on that.
I'll try to make sure that bourbon's. We're starting to try to do reviews again, but.
Yeah, we like having people over for that, but then this stuff happens. So these are what I've got in there so far. Now, ideally, because this is a little bit more muted of a flavor compared to that White Dog, I would like to introduce another contrast or interest flavor profile. Blackberry works great with herbs, so like thyme especially, mint, basil, rosemary. Unfortunately, we didn't have any of those, so I'm going to introduce just a little bit of creme de menthe. And I meant to do a glass rinse with this, but I've already put the ice in my glass, so I'm going to just make a very, very small introduction, less than 1/4 of an ounce.
Very tiny.
Very tiny. Just a little accent from that. Now I'm going to shake the hell out of it again. Yep, and all that frosting and screwing. Much more so than you normally get in a cocktail.
And we talked yesterday about why you would shake over ice and then strain into a fresh glass of ice. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we've talked about that on film yet. So do you want to talk about that?
So if you shake over ice and then dump that into the glass, that is called a dirty dump, and it means that your ice is going to melt much more quickly. It's going to be working with soft ice at that point because it has lost so much of its coldness, been warmed up by the liquids that were in there. So this is going to give you a lot more drinking time on it, having that fresh ice. All right, here we go. A little bit there. So let's top that off. And my garnish. Ta-da! Isn't that beautiful? Completely different drink. Night and day. So.
Yeah, I don't know if I think I pull. just a drop of the mint, like really a drop of the mint. We'll put the recipes online afterwards again.
We'll recommend it with a glass rinse as well in that recipe. All right, so I got these two. So now I'm going to do a mocktail version. So I've got my shaker set up here. And just too much stuff going on. So I'm going to start the same way. I'm going to do a 1/4 ounce of my apple cider vinegar, and I'm going to do a big spoonful of the blackberry. And this is it. I'm not going to have a spirit on it because I'm going to let that be made up for with the seltzer. And if you did have some herbs lying around, that'd be great to introduce into this as well. You're just going to give it that depth. And there's not a whole lot. I'm actually going to shake it a little bit more.
Do you want to put a little seltzer holder in that one, just kind of give it a little bit more liquid, since
So
it doesn't have that ounce of...
I won't give it too much liquid because you don't want to shake seltzer.
You really don't.
But it's just needing just a little bit more liquid. Yeah, see how much solids are still working in there. So. Yeah, it's an awful lot of effort for this one.
So when we put the recipe online, we'll probably ask you to put a plain 1 ounce of water in this, just so that you have enough liquid to kind of get everything out.
Just a little bit of seltzer in the glass.
Maybe.
Nope. I wonder if I ran out. Nope, there we go. I just didn't have the angle just right to get the... It's got a straw down at the bottom there. It's just not quite working. There we go. Yeah, that's perfect. And I should have grabbed a spoon. I didn't grab a spoon, so I'm going to give it a stir just gently, just to integrate, so they don't have pockets without anything, with just the seltzer. And then we're going to throw in our little apples, and voila. So almost kind of a switchel type drink.
Do you want to explain to everybody what a switchel
refreshing.
is?
Switchel is basically a cider drink with some sugar elements
That's
added
really
to
good
it. That would be used for rapid rehydration. Fell out of favor over a century ago, but is really delicious. So here you go. We've got our... I don't know what we're going to call this. We'll come up with a name for it later because that's how we roll. And basically we have our Blackberry mock shrub, I guess, made with a corn, a new make, high corn flavor. I think that was actually really quite delicious. We did it with a barrel proof bourbon. Left it at 1 ounce of each of those because the barrel proof just brings so much alcohol. And then we added a little bit of mint. Just need a tiny little bit of mint on that. Or whatever herb you have at home, because probably you have some, and then the non-alcoholic version we just left out the spirit, and honestly that is fantastically delicious. So there you go.
Honestly, we've never spent a lot of time making mocktails, but we've decided to try to do that this week to kind of allow people to pace themselves if they want to, and they're turning out really good. I would actually serve these as like a, I don't know, cocktail hour for anybody who wants to have something that's delicious and doesn't want to drink.
Yeah, or if you're cruising down at the end of a party and need to start reducing your alcohol intake, these mocktails are really quite delicious to keep enjoying on. So, and any suggestions you have, because we haven't figured out tomorrow night, eventually we're going to run out of good ideas. So give us suggestions in the comments or email me. Or
I'm beginning to wonder if people are waiting for us to run out of good ideas so that we do bad ideas.
Please don't do that. Please suggest some things before that happens. All right. See y'all tomorrow.